I felt like I didn't need anybody else in the world. There were only him that I needed. All I was bothered about was him. It's just so, love is just so blind.
It's not just physical, it's mental, emotional. They're trapped, they're scared, and it's not okay.
When I first met him, my little boy was 4 months old. I felt like he was everything that I'd looked for. It was really, really quick.
The first time we met, I really liked him. I got the impression he really liked me. It was never the plan for him to move in permanently. However, that is what ended up happening. And at this point, we've been together 3 months. So it was very, very fast.
When I got pregnant, that is the only good time throughout the whole relationship. Those 9 months when I was pregnant. He never laid a finger on me.
The kids had been told about him previously, as I'm quite open and honest with my kids and what I'm doing. They got on really well, and I thought, this is a great guy, he's supporting me, and it's everything I could have hoped for in a partner.
When we got his house, that's when it all started, really. He was always a really jealous person. If we went anywhere or somebody looked at me, it were always my fault.
He spoke more and more about my social media. So if I'd check Facebook, he'd make comments, why have you got other boys on Facebook?
If somebody looked at me or gave me eye contact, I'd try and not look at him because I was terrified of what he might say. I would try and just avoid all communication with other people, basically.
Started going out drinking a lot of the time. If I dared ring or text and ask him where he was very verbal, very aggressive.
He left me with £600 a month rent to pay, all the bills, and I was really, really, really depressed. There were a time where I would have sooner died than being without him. He was literally my everything.
He'd say he's going to knock me into next week. He's going to smack me like the slag I am. And I just said, shut up and leave me alone. I've had enough. I don't want to be with you anymore. The next thing I know, he's pinned me down by my chest and he's made a fist as though he's about to hit me. So I just shut my eyes. But he never did. And he rolled over and went back to sleep as though nothing had happened.
He never bruised my face, mainly places I could cover up. He'd do mean things to me, like twist my arm up behind my back, to the point where I thought it was actually going to break. Strangle me, most of it. I'd been with him at this point about 3.5 years. It got to a point where it didn't really bother my children. It was that normal.
I didn't want anything to do with him, I just wanted him out of the house, but he forced his way in. He tried in the kitchen to get my phone off me, and it didn't work, so he dragged me into the hallway, and he threw me into the shoe rack. And he carried on dragging and dragging. I've got 2 flights of stairs outside my house, and I just lost my footing. He'd pulled me right over, and I'd smacked my head on the path. My daughter ran outside. She'd just automatically phoned 999. But she didn't manage to press the green button to actually ring because she was shaking that much, she was frightened, and she told her sister to stay inside because she wanted to protect her sister from seeing what she had to see.
I had an appointment at the hospital, and instead he offered me a lift and promised that, he weren't going to kick off at me and there were not going to be no argument. And then as we got into the hospital car park and he pulled up, he grabbed my head, like my hair, and hit my head on the steering wheel in the car and then pulled me, just strangling me and ramming my head into the steering wheel. And all I can remember was hearing a little boy shouting me. I knew I had to get out, so I was trying to kick the window through on the door, and I genuinely thought he was going to kill me.
So domestic abuse is a lot more common than people think. Up to 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men will experience domestic abuse. We offer a range of services for survivors and victims of domestic abuse and sexual violence.
Fran was my support worker from IDAS. She was assigned to me. She took a massive pressure off me and she was just there through everything.
Having Michelle as a support really helped. Michelle, well, we met every step of the way through the police. Michelle come to court with me and really supported me and encouraged me that I was making the right decision.
If it wasn't for IDAS supporting me through court, I wouldn't have gone. It's very daunting, and if you haven't got anyone to guide you or advise you on how they're going to speak to you or what they're going to do, you're completely in the dark. And I just don't think I would have turned up at all.
For some people that might mean making a referral to one of our refuges. For other people it might mean putting in some practical safety measures into the home. Lots of the services that we provide, the support that we provide to children and young people is entirely funded through charitable giving and through donations. So without that money we wouldn't be able to provide that absolutely vital support for that group of people and for those young people in particular.
Until I met Michelle, I had no idea. Didn't even know what domestic abuse was. It was just my life. Without Michelle or the support from IDAS, I mean, I could have even not been here by now. Things got that bad. My children could not have a mum.